How you doing, dude?
I'm excellent, man. Yourself?
I'm doing great. So where are you right now?
In Austin right now. We're going to Indianapolis on Monday for the week.
Okay, so there was a little story about customs. You're trying.
Oh no, we don't need to talk about that. I'll for yeah, no, we ironically I mean you follow all the games. I mean, just their comebacks have been absurd. And I think you've seen some of the odds, like 4 out of 5 out of these last minute and a half comebacks is like it's like the odds are astronomical. So I've literally missed two of the last second shots getting on planes, one moving my daughter back from college, the one in Cleveland, and then this one getting stuck in DFW. I kind of had it on my phone watching it, and then my son was like, "Dad, your feed's like 3 minutes behind." So I was like, it was easier just to update it on Gamecast. So yeah, we literally sat down on the plane. They were down one, and I refreshed it as we sat down. And all four of us like screamed. Everyone was like looking at us. So
So I
did you
mean,
see
what?
Reg?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Did you see Reggie's video of that he posted of his whole family watching it?
I did not.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You need to pull that up afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, what's this buildup been like for you as a former Pacer to watch this team not only be good but then produce in this postseason?
It's kind of one of those things when I mean, the Spurs are kind of the exception to the rule. Growing up a Spurs fan and getting to kind of see the culmination of my career as a Spurs fan going up until '99. They're winning their first championship to me getting drafted and then going directly from Texas State to having Larry Bird as a head coach and going to the NBA Finals was kind of a really surreal, 12, 13 months to be a part of. And just being fortunate to be part of that organization for 13 years, the only organization I was part of. We've been close a lot. And uh, you always just kind of feel like, hey, you're the underdog, you're the small market guy. And last round, oh great, we're playing the Knicks. And to get past the Knicks and to get that last second win the other night was tremendous. And excited for the game Sunday, and really excited for game 3 and 4. And just I know the energy in Indianapolis will be just out of control, and just super excited for the whole organization. Herb Simon, the owner, and Rick Carlisle. I mean, I've known Rick since college, and he essentially worked me out every day my rookie year before he became the coach of Detroit, and then he came back and I was our coach when we technically should have won the championship in '04, '05, and '03, '04. But had a little derailment there. So I've always stayed close with Rick and followed Rick. So when he came back, I was just really excited because I knew he, would give the organization an opportunity to win again, and he's done that. And then obviously with the shrewd moves that the front office has been able to make, I mean, Halliburton's obviously become a superstar, in my opinion, and performing on the stage, biggest stages like he has. I mean, that's just tough to do. I don't watch a lot of ESPN, but I saw a stat in the gym the other day, I guess, in the last since 1988. It's LeBron, him, and Reggie have made the most shots in the last like 3 seconds of a playoff game. And I believe his have all come maybe this playoff. So it makes it even more exciting.
Yeah, not bad for the most overrated player in the league, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, you get that label put on you. You're obviously going to have a little chip on your shoulder. So he's definitely removed that, and hopefully he can put a champion in that place here in the next couple of weeks.
Okay, so as a former Pacer and then all the guys that you kind of grew up with in the league, how good has the organization been kind of rallying you guys to bring you there and let you enjoy in this experience too?
Uh, I'm kind of one of those people that it's this team's time, and let them have their moment to shine. And I've always kind of been a non-spotlight type person. They've always told me come back whenever you want. I did go to Game 7 in New York City in the Garden last year with my son, but I just reached out to one of the people on this coaching staff and was like, "Hey, can you give me tickets?" And they just left me tickets, and we wore different colors and just went to the game and watched the Pacers blow them out, which was super exciting. But yeah, no, they reached out in the conference finals, which was a little concerning, but and I said I plan on being there, so I'm glad we were able to get it done. But no, just excited to be back. I mean, I spanned a long period of time there from the guys in the '90s to the 2000s, obviously, to Paul George being my rookie, Roy Hibbert being my rookie, Lance Stevenson being my rookie. And then like the Spurs, I mean, they just have a great ABA heritage that they always kept a part of the organization. A lot of guys that are no longer with us, Mel Daniels, Roger Brown, Slick Leonard, Bob Nedelecki actually lives outside of Austin. But those guys are always around and kind of the organization's done a great job of passing down just the legacy of that to kind of Reggie's era. And then I was kind of able to hold that together with some of that stuff through some dark times in the late 2009s before Paul George's teams and Roy Hibbert's teams kind of took us back to the Eastern Conference Finals. And I'm just really excited to get back and mostly just hoping for continued success and we'll see what happens.
Okay, so your thoughts on game one, because forever it looked like, okay, this is going to be OKC's game, and then it wasn't. I mean, when did you start to think, okay, maybe there's a chance? I know you're watching StatCast, but it had to be kind of cool to see the lead slowly but surely erode there in the waning moments.
Yeah, I was, as we said on the tarmac in DFW, I was able to pick up part of the second quarter and I was texting with people looking at I've always followed the box scores. And obviously the turnovers were very concerning. And I kept texting everybody. I was like, we're down 12 points with 18 turnovers in the first half. I was like, I mean, that's unheard of. They should be down 20 to 30 points. So again, I didn't get to see most of the second half, but as we were following it, you could just tell they continue to wear people down. And I called Rick Carlisle Houdini the other day. I mean, just the way he's moving people around and putting defenses in bad positions, and it's just tough for teams to adjust because you really don't know what to adjust for. So if they can keep the turnovers down and just continue to play their game, I mean, they have a shot in any game.
What are your thoughts on him being, amongst the best, if not the best X's and O's guys, talking about Rick Carlisle?
Yeah, no, I mean, again, Rick was with me with Larry Bird his last year, my rookie year, and it was a really kind of unique situation. It's been talked about a lot, but Larry was essentially kind of like a manager. I mean, he was a coach, and then Rick Carlisle was the offensive coordinator, and then a gentleman named Dick Harder was the defensive coordinator. So Larry would kind of, game plan everything up, get everybody in, and then turn it over to Rick, and then turn it over to Dick. And Rick's just always been a brilliant person, one of my favorite people to work with, one of my favorite people to play with. And again, like I said a moment ago, when he came back, I knew things were heading in the right direction.
Have you allowed yourself to think what a championship might mean for the city and, quite frankly, the state? Basketball is such an important staple to that part of the country. I mean, I know there's a long way to go, but hell, they're off to a good start.
Yeah, no, long way to go. Yeah, I hate talking about hypotheticals, but you just think about the people that you worked with there and how good the organization is. The Simon family is wonderful. Uh, the owner Herb is 90 years old, so obviously that'd be huge for him to get a championship. The Fever, the WNBA team got a championship several years ago, and just to see how excited he was about that was wonderful. And then just the city and the state. I mean, it would be bonkers. They would be ecstatic. But again, like I said, it's kind of we've only been in this position one other time, my rookie year, and actually back to that, that was I haven't been there since they advanced, but I still remember after we won Game 6 in in 2000 in Madison Square Garden, and we came back. I think we got back to the airport like at 3 in the morning, and there was just like there was thousands of people there, and just driving through that throng of people still is it's actually one of the coolest moments of my career. And it was kind of my first intro, just the passion of Hoosier basketball.
So have you talked to any of your former teammates about what's going on and how excited are they?
Uh, they're, they're
You dropped Reggie's name.
I have not talked to Reggie. I texted with Reggie recently. He was on something, and uh, I've like most parents, I'm tough on was tough on my kids growing up, and my son within the last year said he was just joking. He said, "I wish you didn't play with Reggie Miller, and talk so much trash," right? And so Reggie said something I believe it was like on All the Smoke podcast, and he literally talked about what he did in practice, and he said after 2000 with all the young guys because we were a very young team. He said I treated every day like a game, and I talked trash to the guys. We fought in practice. We beat the crap out of each other, and he said I knew if they couldn't take it from me in practice, I knew they couldn't take it in the Garden. I knew they couldn't take it in Philly. And as soon as he said that, I sent it to my son, and I was like, "There you go, perfectly from the proverbial horse's mouth." But no, that's the last time I texted him. Hopefully, he's in Indy, but I know he was there a whole bunch for TNT, so he may be spending time with family at home.
Any thoughts about going to the Lions Den in Oklahoma City for any games that may end up there?
Uh, as I just said, Reggie said, he got us prepared for the Garden and Philly, and I don't want to, I don't want to make a statement here, but I still remember again my rookie year, us walking into Philly and the fans spitting on us from above. So, I mean, I kind of consider Oklahoma City, a little Southern hospitality. I don't think it would be that harsh.
Jeff, thank you for your time, man. How cool is this, man? You get to go and check out the NBA Finals and organization that you've been, it was obviously good to you. And, it's got to be pretty exciting because I don't know that a lot of people at the beginning of the year were talking about the Pacers being in this position. So,
Yeah, yeah, no, it's really cool. And the weird thing will be is I don't know how they have us going in, if it's through the tunnel or just if I'm going to. I think they text the tickets now, or if I'm just walking up to the gate. And the first time I did this, you'll appreciate this. My dad and I went to the Spurs Heat championship game when the air conditioning went out. So and we went to that game, and it was the first NBA game I had been to, like going as a fan, and it was just surreal and really weird. And one of my fondest memories from this is obviously the game was hot, going to the concourse and just sweating. And I've known all the Spurs guys forever, as you know. It just seemed like Boonholzer was, I think, with the Hawks. And Bud was just sitting there like at a stand-up table in the middle of the game, eating a Whataburger, just like sweating like crazy because it was so hot. But no, it's just so much different from going from playing to being a fan. I'm just excited to be a part of it.
yeah, I mean, does it drive you nuts at all? I mean, you gripping? I mean, you getting more anxious watching, hoping for a certain outcome?
No, it's just kind of always it's weird going back to Indianapolis, just because people know who I am and I've been away for so long. You know, I was in summer league within the last couple of years and went up to Eric Spoelstra and I was like, "Hey, Eric, Jeff Foster." He's like, "Jeff, I know who you are." It's just like I'm just not in that mindset. So it'll be I'll have to get used to it the first couple of days. Got quite a few interviews lined up, but just excited to be back and be part of this atmosphere.
Well, thank you for taking the time today. I know you're a busy guy, and man, you're always good to me. I can't thank you enough for every time we need to fill a cool, interesting gap.
Yeah.
You're there to make it happen. So